Welcome back in, mates. Today we are outside the barn and we have just fitted some front T3s to the handguards of my BMW GSA. This is my 2018 GSA, which is going to be up for sale soon. So if anyone's interested, feel free to drop me a line, and I have no idea what I'm going to ask for it yet. This bike is almost like brand new. Just before the 3-year warranty came to an end, I decided to take it into BMW and I spotted a tiny amount of corrosion on the rear swing arm. I've got them to agree to replace the swing arm. It's going to have a whole brand new swing arm. When I took it in for its last service, I said something didn't quite feel right with the rear suspension, so it's got a whole rear new suspension on there. It's going to have a brand new swing arm fitted on the 18th of August. So towards the end of August, this bike is going to be available. It's going to be kitted out with obviously an in-off dash cam on there, full Denali D4s, T3's, sound bomb horn. It's in a really good condition. One of those situations where one careful owner and all that, you know. So what we're talking about today are these. So over the past year or so, people have been buying front T3s for their bike. You can mount them on the crash bars, you can mount them on the front fender, you can mount them wherever you want to using the flush mount that Denali provide. But what Denali haven't provided is a mount that sits between the back of the T3 and the front of the BMW GSA handguard. So I've asked someone to make me up these tiny little mounts that sit between the handguard and the T3, and it gives it that perfect finish. So it looks very OEM, so your lights now look like they're supposed to be there out the factory. That's the whole idea. So take a look. What do you think? Do you like the finish of this? I'll put links down below so you can go straight to the page and buy these for your T3s or buy them with T3s. And what you're going to get is this little bag of goodies. You get the 2 pieces in there, you get a fitting kit for it, and you also get 4 little sticky pad like cable routers as well, so you can complete the job. If you need extra wiring, like I'm showing in this video, well then go on the website and click on T3 wiring, and I'll show you now on the screen how you can get to that. So by using the filter on the website, you can go through and select T3s, you can select wiring, and you can select the appropriate amount of wires so you can actually do this job. So I'm just going to show you a quick rundown now of me fitting the T3s to this bike yesterday, so you can see how easy it is. Now, with this particular installation, what I decided to do was, instead of going direct to the CAN Smart for all 3 connections, because what we have here is white running lights, and then we've got 2 indicators. Now technically that's 3 circuits, but I've only got 1 CAN Smart on this bike, and I'm already running a set of D4s, and I'm already running a sound bomb through it. And so what you're going to see in this video is I've actually taken the 2 circuits to my D4s. Instead of running a circuit each side, which currently that's how it was set up, I don't really care too much about turning each D4 off when I indicate. It's not a huge issue, especially now this bike's going to have indicators up top. So I've taken one of the circuits and I've used that for the light pair 2 to run the T3's daytime running light on. So as you see it right now with the white lights, that is running on light pair 2. I don't need to use 2 circuits, it's just 1 circuit going to them. And because they're T3s, they don't have the data dim technology, which all the other Denali pods have. So you must set it up as 2-wire dimming. So turn the 3-wire dimming off when you set it up in the software. Then instead of running indicators from the CAN Smart, I have decided to wire it directly into the blue wire coming from the OEM turn signals on the bike. And I'm not getting any dash errors on the bike whatsoever, and they're working great. Now, if you want these to run as amber DRLs and to indicate amber as well, just like I've shown on previous videos with the emblems, I'll put a link down below, link up above. If you want that to happen, then ideally you need to run 2 circuits to these, 1 circuit each side, and then set the ambers as a DRL in the software, and then when you indicate, each side will flash amber as well. But for this, all I want is just white running lights up on the handguards, and then when we indicate, they're going to flash amber, taking the power from the bike. Because it's such a little amount of draw, it doesn't affect the canvas on these bikes whatsoever. So you get a full fitting kit for the T3s, and also we've made a longer one especially for the DRLs. So if you want a white or amber DRL on the handguards, well then this will now fit perfectly on the handguard. This is the handguard of my 2021 GSA, because I've got SW Motec handguards on that bike. The DRL, which has got 6 LEDs on them, almost goes the full length of this section here. As you can see, you can't fit that. It won't fit perfectly. It's too awkward. It's very difficult to fit. So by the time we have fitted this in place, it just fits the mold perfectly. And the reason we made it quite soft, it's a quite soft plastic, is because as we tighten the screws up, as it goes through the front of the DRL and we tighten up the screws on the back, it just pulls it in nice and tight, so it looks like a perfect finish. So watch this short video, which will hopefully give you an insight exactly how I made this. There are harnesses that you can buy, like there is a T3 harness, which has got full 4 sets of plugs. You don't have to use all 4. This is basically if you want to have front and rear T3s and you want to have complete easy can plug and play. Now, you can still use that harness if you want to, just don't plug in all the plugs. You can just use one plug. So if I wanted to, for this setup here, instead of using the homemade harness that I've made, especially for this setup, I could have used the T3 harness and just left the other 3 plugs all unplugged, and I could have made it work just by plugging them straight in. But when you buy T3s, you get full instructions exactly how to wire it up, so you get a full understanding of exactly which wire does what. So if you want to see how this works, if I put left indicator on, you can see here, and if I put, it comes back on again, put right indicator on, and I cancel indication, cancel, and it pops back on again. So that is how this setup works. Now, if you notice my D4s, they're turned off right now because I thought it was a bit too much light. We've also got the OEM fogs on this bike. So if I turn those on right now, you know, we're just getting more and more light, aren't we? If I turn those off, and now I'm going to turn my D4s on because they're light pair 1, that is pushing the turn signal in for 3 or 4 seconds, and they will come back on. There we are. So now we've got DRLs and those. I've now programmed the D4s not to turn off, so when I hit my indicator, we've got indication there, we've got indication there, and these stay on. But we can make them turn off if we want to. And if you wanted that to turn off that one side and for that to stay on, well, then we just need to make sure that we have 2 circuits running those D4s like I did before. But I couldn't be bothered to take the tank off, and I wanted to get these T3's on, and I wasn't too fussed about that on this bike. So cancel that indicator. If I put the hazards on, I programmed them to do that. They don't have to be doing that, but that's what I programmed them to do. Now, if I want to turn the DRLs off, the T3's off, I'm just going to press the cancel indicator 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and then now they've turned off. So if I go and indicate, they still work because that's coming from the OEM signal of the bike. But we've turned light pair 2 off. So when I cancel indicator, nothing. All right, because I've turned the light pair 2 off because I pressed the turn signal indicator off. I pressed it 3 times, which turned the actual DRL off. So to show you again, if I indicate right and cancel indicator, still they're completely off. So you can run it like this if you wanted to. You don't have to tie it up to the Can Smart at all. You can literally just go straight to the bike. Now, if you wanted to, instead of going to the Can Smart for the light pair 2, we could take it straight from the switch live on the bike. So if you went to the 7.5 amp fuse, the red and blue wire, not the red and green, the red and blue wire before the fuse, not after it, before it, then you could run these as a full intensity DRL, no problem at all, or a half intensity, depending on which one you want to put to it. All right, so whether you want to put the red wire or the orange wire to it. Now, the reason that I say put it to the switched live there is because that's not on the CAN bus system. All right, that won't affect any CAN bus issues at all. If you try and run these lights off the actual lights, like a live going to the lights on the front of the bike, that I promise you it will cause an error. You might be lucky, it might not, but I really wouldn't do it. There's no need to do it. We know the switch live eventually turns off. That's the important thing, so you can take it from there. Right, so I'm going to turn that back on again because I think it's going to rain. Good old British weather, and we're in August. Well, 1, 2, 3, and the white DRLs will come back on again. So obviously, if you do connect your T3s up directly to your bike, you won't be able to turn them on and off by doing what I just did there, because that is easy Can Smart tech. Oh, and also I've set up strobing on these as well. Don't have to, you just make sure you turn off strobing on light pair 2 and we're done. Right, I'm going to have to be quick at this because we are literally running out of time. It's about to pee down the rain. Right, if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. Right, stay safe behind bars, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. I'm now going to prepare for my trip to Ireland.